Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be adding the bonsai tree and some other botanical details to this front garden here next to the train station. So let's get started. Alright, so right in this area, actually right when you walk into the room, there's this big old green space here that is going to have the entrance, or the main stairs entrance to the train station, and that is pretty much it for this area here. I did add this tree in a recent video. I designed this on my own, but I'm probably going to modify this a little bit, I think, just because the trunk is a little small. I got a comment from one of my members, actually, so shout out to you. I really appreciate you being a member. That means the world to me. But yeah, so the trunk does look a little bit small. I think the person who commented that was right. So I'm going to end up redoing this, maybe using snot bricks on the inside and then just putting plates on the outside. I think that could be pretty cool. But over here, I want to add the bonsai tree. I talked about this a few weeks ago, and I was debating between putting it here or over there. I was going to put it over there because of that tree with the museum, and I have the bonsai tree here, but I don't know. It might block the other building, so I'll try putting it here first, just because otherwise there will be pretty much nothing here. So if I don't put it here, so I'm gonna try putting it here first, and if it doesn't work for whatever reason, then I will put it over there. So that won't be a problem putting it there. I know that for a fact. So let me get started on ripping out some of this Mills plate here, and then I can take this out of the base, and then we can get started working all of the details in. All right, so now I've pretty much just ripped up this 16 by 16 plate here, and I removed the wall, and I had to also remove the edge of the platform here because that was just how it was built, with the bracket sitting pretty much right on top of that stud on the end there. But that actually just gives me more room to work in here, and so I think I'm going to try placing it somewhere where this sand green brick is, maybe like here ish. I guess I'll see. I don't have an exact dimension of the base because it's still in the thing over there. So I have to, that's the next thing that I'm going to do actually, is remove it from the pot, and then I will hopefully be able to put it in here and it'll look really good. And then I guess we could take a step back and then make sure it looks good and then add more details. But so for now, what I'm going to do is just remove all of these bricks from the Mills plate, and then I'm going to take that out and put it in here and see how it looks. All right, so this was my original plan for it, was to have it kind of curving up like this in this orientation, but it doesn't exactly fit with the wall here, and also to further prove that point, the train also hits it, so I'm going to have to redo that. I'm going to have to move it. Maybe this orientation might look pretty good. I would have to remove this section here, but I think that could look pretty good if I put it that way. Then the train has more than enough clearance, and then I would just have to kind of take a step back and see if that's something that I like, which I think I do, but I'm gonna kind of sit on it for a minute, I think, because this is technically the back of the tree, and I want to, this is pretty much the first thing that I'm going to see when I walk in the room. And so I want to make sure that that's something that I actually want to see. I could try rotating it the other ways, but then again, it would still have the same problem here. So I'm going to sit on it for a minute. I'm going to try it in a bunch of different directions, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so the solution that I ended up going with actually was just moving it one stud that way. And then I did have to move some of these leaves out of the way and kind of angle them differently. And I had to remove a couple of frogs as well, just to kind of make sure that the train has enough clearance. But as you can see now, the train passes by. It is a little close, but it does pass through with no problem, which is good to see. And so I think this is actually what I'm going to end up going with. I just need to add some plate as well as the underlying pieces so that it's all supported properly. I just need to add all of that in, and then I need to add some on this side as well. And then I have to figure out what exactly I'm doing with this. I don't know if I want to put like a garden around it, or if I just want to put this in the ground and try to cover it with green as best I can. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do. I'm going to try and figure that out now. That is probably my next goal after I add in the basic 4x4 and 4x8 green plate going around. And then I guess we will take it from there. But honestly, I am pretty happy with how this is looking so far. If you take a step back here, I quite like that actually. And if you get a little bit of a higher angle as well, I think that really adds a nice pop of color to this area. As for this tree, where my finger is right now, this one, I don't know what I'm going to do with that one, but I guess we'll just leave it there for now. And then once I figure out this staircase here, then I can move it or I can keep it there and add details around it. I'll worry about that later though. All right, so I went ahead and I added all of the green plate in, and this is just about the best that I could do here. There's a little bit of a gap back here, and there's a pretty decent sized gap here. I unfortunately could not fit a full 4x4 plate here, so I had to do a 2x4 and this wedge plate. But what I might do is actually bring back these studs that were in the pot with this originally. So I might bring some of those in and put them in those holes there. I would just need to rip up the mills plate a little bit and then like make a wall around so the studs just don't go flying everywhere underneath here. And then around the back here is a little bit more of a gap, but it's not the end of the world. It's a lot smaller than this one is. And this here, I did have to modify a little bit, so now it kind of comes to the side. I think that looks all right. It doesn't really bother me all that much. And when you take a step back here, I think that really is starting to look good. And I'm quite happy with that actually. So let me go ahead and work on the area some more, and then we'll see how it looks. All right, so this is actually a pretty good look as to what I'm doing right now. Instead of adding all of the studs in like I thought I was going to do, I thought I could do a little bit better and use grass stems and stuff in here because just throwing the studs in seemed kind of lazy. So what I'm doing now is adding, like, as you guys can see, this grass stem in here, and it is kind of hard to see because there's a shadow, but this little brown stem, I added it right there. And I'm going around the edges and trying to add as many of these grass stems as I can just to fill in the gaps. And then hopefully this looks really good once it's done. I haven't really taken a step back yet, but what I'm doing is just adding a bunch of 1x1 white studs that I got from the pick-a-brick wall. And then I am making stacks and then pretty much just going like that. And it doesn't look like I can fit a stem in there, so I'm going to have to just leave that as it is. But the other ones also will cover that in a minute anyways, and I could add a jumper or something just like that there. So it's not the end of the world, but this is pretty much what I'm doing, and then this will just kind of rest like that, I think, which is pretty cool. And then I will add all of the pieces back in, and I will show you guys once this is all reconstructed. All right, so I went ahead and I put everything back together, and I think this actually looks really, really good. You can hardly even see that there's a gap in there, and the gaps that are there have a lot of shadows in them, so I think that looks really, really awesome. And as for putting stuff around it, like a kind of a border, I guess, I was thinking of using the same design as was used in the botanical garden set that just came out I think like last week, or 2 weeks ago at this point, so it's pretty brand new, and I really like that design of using the 1x2 rounded plates and the 1x2 rounded tiles on top. I think that looks really good. My first choice would have been dark tan, just to match the train station over here, but unfortunately, I don't think they make the 1x2 rounded tiles in tan, so I will probably have to stick to, I believe medium nougat is the color that's used in the set. So that's not a problem. I would probably just go from this back wall here out under this root and then over and then back over to here just to kind of frame it up and make it like a defined area. And then I can add a bunch of flowers and stuff like that. And then I just have to figure out what to do with that area over there. But I think this is actually starting to look really, really good, and I'm happy with this. So let me clean up some of my mess here, and then we can move on. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those pieces in medium nougat to make that border happen, so I will be having to buy those pieces in my next online order. or if they have them at the pick-a-brick wall in the near future, that would be pretty cool, but I doubt it. So I'm going to have to just buy those online, which is fine. I'm just going to have to remember to do that, and then we can finish this area once those pieces get ordered and come in. And then I just need to figure out what I'm doing for this area over here. But I think I'm going to save this for the train station video, just because whenever I get around to building that staircase, I want to build out this whole corner or like whole section over there. So that's something that I want to do, which I have not yet done. But over here, I am actually pretty happy with this. If you take a little bit of a lower angle here, and what I actually want to do is extend the sidewalk where the shark guy is all the way straight up through to the entrance here. So then that way you can have people walk from this side of the street straight up to the train station, or they can walk around that way and enter or like get to the staircase from that street. So just so if you're over here, you don't have to walk around and then come up. You can just kind of pick and choose. And then I can add a little bit of foliage here, and then some here, and then maybe some here as well. So I'm going to worry about the rest of the foliage in a minute, but let me get some tiles, and then I can start working on this path right here. All right, so I've been pretty busy, and I grabbed a whole bunch of tiles, and I pretty much finished out this whole area here, or I'll call it done for now, I guess. The staircase here is 8 studs wide, so I have the path over here at 8 studs wide, and then over here where this dark blue guy is, and the path right here, I made that 6 studs wide. I thought that looked a little bit nicer than the 8 stud wide did. I thought it was too thick going all the way around. So what I did was, let me just remove a couple of these figures here. And so basically this is what the tile design that I went with looks like. I tried adding, instead of this jumper here, I tried adding a 2x2 and then a light gray tile and then going around it. But I thought it looked too thick. And then it also started getting too close to the tree for my personal liking. So I put it a 1x2 instead, and I decided to cover it with a figure just to kind of mask that a little bit, and I think it helps. And then over here, the reason there's no tile here is because I ran out of these angled corner tiles here with the cut on them. So I figured that would look better there than just a normal corner tile here. So that is something that I have to fix as well, but that will happen in due time. I just need to get one more of those, and then that's pretty much it. And then obviously I need tiles for the back here and over here, as well as the entire rest of this front section here. But I'm pretty happy with how this all looks. Honestly, I think the tree over here was a good idea as opposed to putting it over there. And so I think the path here is also a good idea, and then having the little border around this is also going to work out pretty nicely. I don't know if I'm going to put a border here or if I'm just going to put benches here. These benches were only supposed to be temporarily placed here, but I kind of liked it there actually, and so I might bring those back. And then as for this might be another similar situation with the little border around it, and then kind of similar to this. So I'm going to worry about that in another video, just because I don't have any of those pieces to make. I don't have any of those pieces to make the border, and I think that would really help me visualize this whole area here. But on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on the placement of the bonsai tree and this entire front section as a whole, make sure to drop a comment down below. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.